You got Volk Lopez 2. Some people, I guess, maybe were questioning why there was a rematch when the first fight felt a little decisive on Volk's behalf.
Yeah. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It was just a fight that made sense. We get in that room and we start putting shit together, and it should be a good fight.
If you don't like it, then don't watch it. What kind of promoter says that? I'll tell you who. The UFC's promoter, Dana White. The boss man, Dana White. I'm sure Paramount absolutely loved hearing that from Dana White. If you don't like it, don't watch it. What in the world are we doing, man? What in the world is the UFC doing? It almost feels like they're confirming and validating a lot of the concerns that people had about them signing this new Paramount deal. It's a massive win for the fans. I am super excited for the Paramount era. Pay-per-views are gone. You sign up for your Paramount Plus subscription, which it is a fantastic app. They got the fight library on there. They got it all, man. It is incredible. But I can't help but feel the vibe and the energy in the air. And the vibe and the energy in the air is, there's no more pay-per-views. You just sign up for your subscription and you get everything. So why do we have to really please the fans and actually make the matchups that make sense? We could just do whatever we want because they're not pay-per-views. You don't have to buy them. You just get your subscription and you get all the fights. So we just do whatever we want. That's the fight that you thought made the most sense. There's no way that anybody that's in tune with MMA right now thinks that Diego Lopez versus Alexander Volkanovski 2 in this particular moment is the fight that makes the most sense. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. That was literally Volk's last fight. I understand that Diego Lopez went out there and he balled, man. He put on a tremendous performance by knocking out Jean Silva, who was beating everybody, had all the hype in the world. I get it. I understand it. And I understand the argument of, well, do you think Diego Lopez beats Lerone Murphy? Do you think Diego beats Aljo? Do you think he beats Mobstar? Probably. Probably he does. And is Diego more popular than all those guys? Yeah, he is. And that is basically the new reality of the UFC, something that we started to see towards the run of the ESPN era, which is the fact that the UFC no more, they really don't care about the rankings anymore. They really don't. And it's going to be about popularity and entertainment value. That's certainly what it feels like, because there is no way that a matchmaker should sit there and go, this is the fight that makes the most sense based on the best fighting the best right now. Now, understand that Diego Lopez is one of the best. I get that. But he just fought Volk. He just fought Volk. What about Volkanovski's legacy? What about Volk, dude? He just fought Diego, and we all know why they booked this fight. They want Diego Lopez, in my opinion, to go out there and finish Volkanovski. They want to lock Volkanovski in there for another 25 minutes with the most dangerous guy in the featherweight division right now. That's what they want to do. Because Diego almost knocked him out in the first fight. So they're just hoping that he could go in there and do it again, and voila, you got a massive star in the featherweight division. Diego's the champion. We could promote him. He's popular. And I like Diego Lopez, don't get me wrong. But this energy from Dana White is BS, man. And his energy in these fight announcements, I mean, that fight announcement that he made the other day for UFC Seattle, it was one of the most pathetic things that I have ever seen from a promoter or from any type of promotional material in my entire life. That was pathetic.
The main event, former middleweight champion Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. Adesanya, former two-time middleweight champ. 16 of his 24 wins by knockout. And Joe Pyfer is on a 3-fight win streak. And since winning the Contender Series, all but one of his wins have come by finish.
Pathetic. And I got to say, shout out to the MMA Guru for going on the Nelk Boys Podcast, standing his base, and basically calling out the shenanigans of Dana White and pushing back against these just The Nelk Boys drive me nuts, man. They really, really do, because I don't believe that Dana White surrounds himself with nothing but yes men. And the reason that I know yes men, because the reason that I know that is look at the UFC brass. Look at how many of them say things that you're like, well, you'd think that since you're working for the UFC, you wouldn't tear down this fighter or tear down this matchmaking or whatever, you know? So I don't think that Dana just surrounds himself with nothing but yes man. And I understand that Dana is very, very good to the Nelk Boys. They got a good relationship and all. I get it. But the fact that these guys can't sit there and just be honest about the situation and be like, the promotional side, like, Dana, like, what's he doing? Where's the energy here? Like, Dana, you should grab an energy drink or a coffee or something if you're going to go live and make these announcements so there's more energy. You went on there and your energy, it was bad. If Dana White cannot take that type of criticism, then I don't know what to say. But I don't believe that. I think Dana White could take some criticism. And it's not even crazy criticism. It's just like, hey, man, the energy was really low there. That was pathetic. Get yourself a little coffee or something. Hype yourself up first. If you need someone to grab your shoulder, slap you on the face, give you some power slap, and be like, come on, Dana, fire up, man. You got Adesanya versus Piper, dog. You got Grasso versus Barber, man. Like, where is the energy? And it just feels like Dana doesn't care anymore. And I understand that Dana and the UFC, they have made it. And I'm so happy that the sport is as big as it is. I am. Because it's great for the fighters. It's great for the sport. But the direction that this is heading is just nuts. It is nuts. And I'm glad that MMA Guru is standing his ground, standing his base, and saying what needs to be said on a big podcast like the Nelk Boys. Because Guru's got influence. He's the biggest name one of the biggest names in the game, man, if not the biggest. And I love that he did that. Because you know that his voice, it just echoes throughout the sport. And you know Dana's going to hear about it. And it puts this kind of pressure on Dana White. Because we've seen this. Whenever they book these whack title fights, they could sit there and go, oh, we don't care. But if people really do stop watching, if people hound the comment sections like when John Jones was holding up the heavyweight division all that time and the UFC was choosing to do nothing about it, and Dana kept saying Aspinall versus Jones is happening, and it never happened. Or maybe it did and we all just missed it. I don't know, man. Dana White, it's like, what are you doing? Like, how are you struggling to find enthusiasm, man? Like, this is the UFC. You are in charge of the UFC. It just sucks because you can see it, man. I've been complaining about it for forever. I know a lot of us have, but the energy, it sucks. He cuts these press conferences short. He doesn't let the reporters, and I know that the questions a lot of the time, they're horrible. They're like, what'd you eat for dinner? Or what are you going to eat after you weigh in? Like they ask the dumbest, or how do you feel to be here? They ask the dumbest stuff, but at the end of the day, there's times that they've riled the fighters up to where we can get these back and forth. So Dana goes, we got to shut this down. We'll get this stuff out of here and we'll do some face-offs. Thank you guys for coming. It's like, this just started 2 minutes ago. What are you doing, Dana? I'm just distraught, man. Because I'm so excited that after this long break that the UFC is back and we just get hit with these clips of Dana that, how could you be the promoter sitting up there saying, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it? So is that going to be the answer now? You guys are just going to book a bunch of matchups that you know for a fact don't make sense or make the most sense, at least in this moment? Like I said, I'm speechless, man, because I feel like I see the long game here. I feel like I see the writing on the wall. I see the direction that we're heading. And believe me, I'm grateful that the UFC is as big as it is and that we don't have to pay for the pay-per-views and you get your subscription. And I love Paramount Plus. They got some great shows on there, man. Landman, Mobland, Tulsa King. Now you got the UFC and it's so organized, man. It's so organized. They got it all on there and I love all of that. But it just feels like now because, well, you're not paying for a pay-per-view, so you can't complain is almost the energy that I'm getting here. So we're going to be getting these BS matchups to where it's going to be all about popularity. And it's why I said before, these fighters that are very skilled but refuse to market themselves, you're just going nowhere in the UFC anymore. And to a degree from the business angle, I get that. It's not enough to just go in there and be a really good fighter and dot your I's, cross your T's, and be real technical and stick and move and knock it. That's almost not enough anymore. But what happened to the promotion that said that just be you and we'll promote you? Isn't that what they said years ago? And I understand, Paramount, they don't really care about, the number one guy fighting the champ. Like, you think they care about that? They're like, no. What's going to give us more views? That's literally what they probably say every time. We don't care about that guy. We don't care. I don't even know. They're like, we don't even know who that is. Put the other guy in there. So I'm not saying that all of this is on Dana and the matchmakers, because who knows who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes, because I think there's a lot more to it. But at the end of the day, when you're the face and you're Dana White and you sit there and you say, you don't like it, don't watch it. That's how you repay us fans, man. The fans that have been around. We've helped this sport grow. We have channels. We create content. We help, push the fighters. All this stuff. And then that's what you do. No enthusiasm for the announcements. Really no cool promos. I don't know. I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom, man, but I'm just glad that the MMA Guru on that podcast, because you know that Dana's going to hear that. And I find it hard to believe that no one can just sit there and go, hey, Dana, pat him on the back, go, look, man, before you make these announcements, why don't you take an espresso shot? Why don't you, come on, man, pep it up a little bit. Don't forget that you're the boss man of the UFC. I don't know. It's mind-boggling to me. And I just see the writing on the wall and I feel the direction that the UFC is heading. That's why I kind of have this energy right now, is because they're like, well, you don't have to pay for pay-per-views. It's all, free. Well, you got to have your subscription, but it's all included in the app. And I love all of that. But they're literally going to do whatever they want to do. It's going to be a free-for-all now. And essentially the rankings, and I said this before, whenever they change the ranking system, I'm like, this is literally giving the UFC every opportunity and all the excuses that they need to justify undeserved title shots. And I like Diego Lopez, and I think that he should be fighting again for the title very soon. But we have Lerone Murphy, who's unbeaten, just got an impressive KO victory over Aaron Pico, which was a massive risk for him to take that fight. Yeah, Movsar Evloev was on a crazy streak, but again, he's been a little bit inactive. Aljamain Sterling, again, not the most popular guy, to get the next shot, but Lerone Murphy could have been in line. And how about Volk's legacy? Adding Diego Lopez back-to-back like this, I don't know. It just feels like it's a setup for Volk. It just feels like we all know why this was booked. And I'm just worried moving forward that meritocracy that we all used to love, where the number one guy actually fights the champ, it's going to be very rare that we ever see that. It's very rare that it's going to be rare that we ever see that, because it's all about business. And from the financial side in the business game, I get it. I do. But we're heading into this new era of the UFC. While I'm excited, I'm also very concerned. And like I said, I'm just glad that a lot of us out there that have these channels and we cover the UFC and all this stuff, it's important that we call this stuff out. Otherwise, the UFC is just going to walk all over us. And they're just going to walk all over it. And they're making it pretty clear that they really don't care what we're saying. But someone like Guru, who has that kind of influence, has that kind of voice in the space, it's very, very big, because he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to do that. He could just go up there and be like, I'm happy to be on Nelk. Look, I made it. And I could just go along with him and not cause any bit of a rift. I mean, we know he likes to cause rifts. But to push back against these Nelk Boys, for those guys to be that delusional, you think the Nelk Boys, they actually, care about fighting so much? No. It's just the popularity of it and the fact that Dana likes them and they got this relationship. And I get it. They built a podcast, all that kind of stuff. But the fact that they were on there acting like Dana's doing some great job and they couldn't be slightly critical, it's nothing crazy. It's not like you're calling Dana out for the most absurd stuff. You could just be like, yo, man, take a little caffeine before you do these announcements. And if you can't, jazz yourself up, then just have someone else do it. Let's get someone else in there that can bring the energy. Because us fans, we care about this stuff. We do. And like I said, I'm excited for the new Paramount era, but I see the writing on the wall. I do. You pay for your subscription. We don't have to sell you on buying a pay-per-view anymore. It's all included in the app, so we're just going to do whatever we want. And then behind the scenes, I'm sure Paramount, they're not worried about the number one guy fighting the champ or what matchup makes the most sense or what style clash gets the fans going nuts. They don't care about that. It's all about numbers and popularity, in my opinion. And that's what we're going to see moving forward. So I guess it's just the new era that we're in. We're going to have to adjust and get used to it, but it doesn't mean that we can't call it out. And for the Nelk Boys to just sit there and go along with it and defend Dana and act like they're doing this tremendous job with promotion? No. Us content creators out here, especially the big ones like Guru, Lucas, Bedtime, like they have the massive influence, man. Massive influence, and they help in a way pump things up. So the UFC kind of relies on a lot of that promotion outside of them putting in the time themselves to drop these cool trailers and cool fight announcements. They're just in this idle mode where Dana just goes live, has no energy, and goes, Adesanya versus Pfeiffer in Seattle. See you guys next time. You guys mad? You guys, whatever he says. And then at the end when he goes, you guys happy? You guys pissed? Or whatever he says, it's like he knows that he's basically rage baiting us. And then you say that you're going to announce fights and you make people wait hours and hours and hours to deliver 2 fights, and those are the fights that you deliver. Not that they're bad fights, but you have people thinking that you had massive things. And you continue to say it's going to be this massive fight, this fight we're never going to see coming, all this stuff, and then none of it's coming to fruition. So just calling out what I'm seeing, man. I'm a little disappointed in what I'm hearing from Dana because I've said it time and time again. I love Dana White. He's an OG. He's the boss man. He's gotten the sport to where it is. But I just feel like they're forgetting about the fans that have gotten them there or something. I don't know. So I'm excited for 324. I'm happy the UFC's back, but I don't know, man. I'm a little bummed out. But do you guys agree with me? Am I just overreacting? Is this an overreaction, or am I misreading it? Am I making it a bigger deal than what it is? Or I don't know. But if you guys could do me a favor, like the video, let me know what you think. Hype the video up. That new thing YouTube's got going on, that helps me out. And if you could subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you next time.